Ladies and gentlemen, the definitive top 100 games of all time has just been released by GQ. You know, GQ known for their in-depth reporting on video games, just quality reporting. So we're going to take a look at it. The top 10 100 greatest video games of all time. Here we go. Who are the experts? Ranked by experts. Let's number 100. How do we get these ads out of here? Here, you know how you get rid of ads? You cover them up. There we go. Not Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. We're either gonna say one of two things. We're gonna say underrated or overrated. This is completely underrated. I've never played it, but I heard it's the best Star Wars game of all time. And that's including the latest Star Wars game. Rez, never heard of it. Completely overrated. Age of Empires 2, look. I'm not one of those people that's super into RTSs, but I've heard this is way better than 98. That's completely underrated. Return of the Obra Dinn. I think this game was completely miscalculated. They forgot to include the 16-bit color palette when they exported it, so I'm going to say this is overrated. Super Mario Brothers 196th? This has got to be some kind of joke. What if you ever find yourself questioning Miyamoto's genius, then know he near on perfected the platforming genre. And you're rating it 96th? Completely underrated. Okay. Rage bait article. Ultima Underworld. This is one of the first times they ever made a 3D game. I'd say that's underrated. Okami. That's a comic book, not a game. Overrated. Fable 2, overrated. Completely. No one played it because Fable 1 wasn't good. Mass Effect. I'd say properly rated. The rare properly rated. Grand Theft Auto 4, 91? Who made this list? What? React to this list without getting rage baited. Completely underrated. I mean, it literally changed the entire genre of Grand Theft Autos. Mario Kart 90th. This is top 20 for, oh my gosh. The only Mario Kart game without the blue shell. Coincidence? We think not. Chat, is there a way to delete an article from the internet? Hitman World of Assassination. That's fine. Properly rated. Made a new genre of puzzle game. The Last Guardian. Highly disappointing. Extremely overrated. Super Mario Odyssey. 87th. This is arguably maybe the second greatest Mario game of all time. Extremely underrated. That's a top 25er of all time. Civilization 5. Looks like a mobile game. Overrated. Final Fantasy 17, the first MMO, overrated. Too many buttons. Shenmue, completely underrated. Put Adam Sessler on the map. This game did. Never played it, but it's definitely better than 84th. It's the first game you could go buy a can of Coke from a machine and slurp it up. BioShock Infinite shouldn't be on the list. The game's only about getting a finger cut off. Shouldn't be on the list. Dragon Age Origins should not be on the list. Fortnite 81st. Look, say what you want about Fortnite. It's at least a top 30 game of all time. I mean, they knew what they were doing with this list. They had chat. They had to know what they were doing. Firewatch shouldn't be on the list. It's a game about nothing. It should be retitled Seinfeld. Tetris Effect. One of the most iconic 2D games of all time. Oh my god. Why in chat if you've ever even heard of this game? Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. The only Tony Hawk should be on here is the first one. Secret of Monkey Island. I'd put that about 75th, so I'd say slightly underrated. Pokemon Gold and Silver. This reinvented the genre. That's a top 50 game. Underrated. Metroid Prime, no one really liked it. Samus is supposed to be in 2D. Overrated. Undertale 74th. Furry rated. What is this? Certainly the only game on this list to have been gifted to the head of the Catholic Church. What? Undertale is what YouTube Matt Pat decided to give Pope Francis when an internet summit was held in the Vatican. We can only hope Pope Francis attempted a pacifist run. Is that real? Final Fantasy 6, but it's really Final Fantasy 3. I'd say it's properly rated. Yakuza 0. I don't know anything about it, so I'm going to keep my mouth shut. I'll say properly rated. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. The first game to be World War I. I'm going to say shouldn't be on the list. Left 4 Dead 2009. Probably overrated. Legend of Zelda Majora's Snooze. Probably properly rated. Never played it. Never will. But 69th sounds about right for it. Thief The Dark Project. The first game where you didn't have to kill anyone to win. Properly rated. Wind Waker, 67th. We played it when it came out for about 5 hours. I'd say properly rated. Fallout New Vegas is a top 40 game of all time, underrated. GoldenEye 007, outside of Mark Rutsu, look at the pace. Extremely overrated. But I will say this, it marked the first time normies played a first-person shooter. So I see why it's on the list. This is like the first normie first-person shooter. Like, it really is. Persona 5. Look, you got to appease anime fans. I say it's properly rated. Sims 2. Okay. Invented a new genre. Castlevania Symphony of the Night, top 25 game for the music alone. Completely underrated. Grand Theft Auto 3. It's just embarrassing. How you have this game at 61st, completely underrated, top 20 game of all time. Super Metroid, never played it, so let's call it properly rated. Fallout 3. Redefine the RPG genre. That's a top 35 game, underrated. Elder Scrolls, a Snoozian. Never played it, but seems about properly rated. Final Fantasy 9. This time with more furries. I'd say properly rated. Inside, never played it. Wait, that's not Hollow Knight. What is this? What is this a picture of? Is this Silk Song? They used a picture of Silk Song. That's journalism, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to 2023, where you can't match a game to a picture. Still an astonishing game. Finessed as Hollow Knight, an Adelaide-based team of 3 developers, although Dark Souls meets Metroidvania. Those who wasted untold hours before slaying its Radiance boss, we salute you. I'd say properly rated. Eco, I liked it. This is Starsleep's favorite game. I'd say properly rated. Dishonored 2, never played it, so we won't touch that one. Half-Life, that's just disrespectful. It's just disrespectful. This is a top 25 game of all time, whether you played it or not. Gaben took the FPS and made it different. Final Fantasy X, they did have Super Pog Ball in it. Properly rated. Let me just see what they have to say about Spelunky. Alongside Fez and The Binding of Isaac, Spelunky led the Naughty's charge for a new breed of low-budget games. This is a top 15 game of all time. Stardew Valley, I'll give it to him. 49's fine. Grand Theft Auto, that's a top 30 game of all time. God of Snooze, not even a top 100 game. Overrated. Destiny, overrated. Halo, overrated. Morrowind, never played it, so I won't touch that one. Nier Automatica.
My daughters are slurping tonight.
An action RPG so good that you have to play it at least 3 times. Why in chat if you agree, and in chat if no. I've never played it, but I do like the concept they're showing here. Say properly rated. Chrono Trigger, played part of it while on a treadmill. Probably properly rated. Sims, I'll give that a top 40, properly rated. Galaxy, never played it. It was about bowling balls. What Remains of Edith Finch? Shouldn't even be on the list. Never heard of the game. You have Hades ranked above the original Mario? Who wrote this? Let's go. This has to be some kind of joke.
Your Majesty.
Sam
Your
White
Majesty.
and Robert Leadham. We're going to be composing a tweet to them. There will be a tweet composed. I promise you that. Bring the music back. Hades over Mario Kart? Undertale? I mean, Chad, this is, look, let's take a step back. Why in chat if they knew what they were doing with rage bait, and in chat if you just think this is what they actually believe. Silent Hill 2, never played it, but heard it's really ominous, so I'll say properly rated. Super Mario Bros. 3 is a top 12 game of all time. Underrated. Portal, I'm not going to touch it, never played it. Uncharted 2, might as well just watch a movie. Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, I'd say that's properly rated. I'd put all the Metal Gears, rank them at 33. Deus Ex, first game you can actually make decisions in, properly rated. Shadow of the Colossus, first time where you could scale a mountain and it's an actually enemy, properly rated. Outer Wilds, never played it, not eligible, get it off the list. Journey, never played it, not eligible, get it off the list. Last of Us Part 2, that's just null and void, should not even be on the list. Street Fighter, I'll give you that. Pioneered the PvP genre. Link to the Past, probably the best Zelda game next to Zelda 2, so I'd expect to see Zelda 2 in the top 25. Pokemon Red and Blue, sure. Top 25, I'll give them that one. Minecraft top 24, okay, they're starting to heat up a little bit. That's properly rated. BioShock, shouldn't be on the list. A twist ending is not enough to get you on the list. World of Warcraft, it's probably a top 20 of all time, but they're close on this one. Halo Combat Evolved should not be on the list. It just copied Doom. Everything about this is Doom copied. The only originality they put was an SUV in it. Elden Ring top 20. I'll give them that. It pioneered a new genre of Souls game. I'll give them that one. I'd say that's top 20. I'll give them that one. Doom, that's good. Now we're heating up. I'll tell you, 20 to number 1, I bet's on point right here. That's really good. So far, 20 and 19's on the list. Super Mario 64. Koopas. I'd say that, like, right now, they're heating up. Every other, 20 to 18, they're good right now. Final Fantasy 7. I'll give it to them. I just wish they wouldn't have used the mobile version. I wish they would have used the original. I'll give it to them. They're on point. Elder Scrolls Skyrim, played a little bit of it. Chad, right? 19 to 16, I can't argue. I can't argue that they're on fire. Red Dead Redemption 2. I'll give them that one. Maybe a stretch, I would have went Red Dead Redemption 1 for the ending alone, but that's just me. Okay. Super Mario World. I think we're splitting hairs here, to be honest with you. I'll give it to them just because they're on fire a little bit. I'll give it to them. But to me, Mario Bros. 3 should be here. My opinion. My opinion.
Are you kidding me?
Legend of Zelda, the Ocarina of Snooze, number 13. This whole list is null and void. Null and void. I mean, the best thing to come out of this game was the Song of Storms. That's it. That's it. This doesn't even scratch the top 30. All right. Disco Elysium? It doesn't even belong in the top 1,000. Resident Evil 4? Who made this? You know what this is? Recency biased. Look, I'm sure it's good. Maybe it's top 90. Half-Life 2? Is that Potion Seller guy? Never played it. Dark Souls. If you don't have Dark Souls in your top 5, you don't play video games. Venture deep into Dark Souls called Blighttown, in a sadistic game that asks for your patience. That's a top 5. They're way off on this. Number 8 should be a monster. I could see. Look, I think this is a little high, but I get what they're going for. To me, it's a top 15 game. It pioneered a genre of stealth action, and you had to plug in your controller in the second port to beat a boss. I'm okay with that, but I would put all the Metal Gears at top 33. Mass Effect 2, no way. This game was it's basically like a Skyrim knockoff. Witcher, no one played it because it took 120 hours to just get through the first chapter. Maybe a top 50 game just for how much stuff's in it. Look, I like Bloodborne as much as the next guy, but the 4th greatest game of all time. Imagine someone comes here for the first time and you're like, here's the top 4 games you got to play. Number 4, Bloodborne. You're like, I don't know what this is. Give them Dark Souls. At least they know what the lore is about. They're trying to be artisanal here on this. Tetris number 3. This is a hipster artisanal pick. It's like, oh well, it was one of the first games. Fine. Doesn't make it good. I put it top 25.
Ain't no way.
No way. This tells you everything you need to know about the list. A dad game for the ages. It's safe to say their gamble paid off. This, I'll tell you what I agree with. The second most overrated game of all time. You know what? You can maybe call this the most overrated games of all time. This isn't even in the top 100 games. This is in the bottom 100 games. All right, if they're gonna hit us with Last of Us as number 2, what the heck is? I can't even think of what number. Here's how they save the list. Number 1, Ultima Online. No one even played this compared to the other games. Nintendo's magnificent Switch launch changed how people saw an open world game. No, they just copied it, and it's the first open world game Nintendo ever made, and they made breakable weapons in it. Meet the voters. Oh, please. Let's see the experts on this panel. Let me put on some clown music. Meet the voters. They don't have pictures of them? Who's gonna read this? They're hiding. You know what? They're hiding. I get it. I would hide too if I was on this list. I mean, this chat. This is not even rage bait. Why in chat, if you agree with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is the number 1 greatest game of all time? I can't fathom that this is probably the most elaborate piece of marketing for GQ I've ever seen in my life. And I can't really say I'm mad at it because they know what they're doing, right? How do I get in touch with Sam White? The 15 hottest games of 2023.
L list.
How do I get in touch with this person? Robert Leadham. Dude, I'm not here to bash any journalists, but if you're writing about beard trimmers in the top 100 games of all time, my man's into some personal grooming. Like, look, I would 100% read the best personal groomers of all time. It's okay. You know what? They served its purpose. They served its chat. What do you think is the greatest game of all time? Let me know right now or in the comments below. It's, you know what? Sometimes this isn't about being the best. It's about getting people to talk about it. We talked about it. Isaac is the best of all time. Mario Brothers. Isaac, Dark Souls 1, Elden Ring. Quake wasn't even on this list. Elden Ring. Yeah, Isaac's not on here.
How is Potato not in that list?
You know, Brotato. Nonetheless, you know what? That's what make, you know, the different colors and different palettes of life and different tastes make the list worth reacting to, you know? So big thank you to GQ for putting together this piece of content for us to react to. Check out the article. Let me know what you think. Dancing, the article had bad takes, is the pot calling the kettle black. Baldur's Gate. I would even put Baldur's Gate on here. It's very interesting, nonetheless. Very interesting. Chat, all right. Well, what game were you most surprised to see by its ranking on there? Zelda, no cap. Breath of the Wild, Last of Us. Snooze of the Wild. Chat, what is Outer Wilds? I don't even know what that game is. Witcher 3 was the only one that was spot on for you. That was like top 5. Murph, are you okay?